Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. Sometimes to cut through, you've got to be brave. Wave convention and grab your audience by the scruff of the neck. Not literally, of course, but enough to intrigue them into action. From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Intrigue marketing is an approach that stops audiences in their tracks and think about your brand in a whole new way. This is great for cut-through, purchase consideration and loyalty. James Smith is the CEO of digital agency Smith Brothers Media. He says that with mere seconds to grab people's waning attention, taking your brand out of its comfort zone could be a great first step. To start, I asked James how he views intrigue marketing and its benefits.
Intrigue marketing is really what it says on the tin. It's the thing that captures your attention. It makes you think about something a little bit differently. Benefits-wise, it's all about making it stick in your mind. I'm not sure if people realise, but on average in Australia, people see over 6,000 ads a day. So if I was to ask each listener right now to think about how many ads do they remember from yesterday, it's not going to come close to 6,000. So the idea of intrigue marketing is to really stand out and bury a seed in the memory.
Is intrigue marketing similar to experiential marketing?
There's definitely a crossover. More often than not, intrigue marketing will lead into some sort of experience or experiential marketing because at the end of the day, it's about taking people on a journey. I would say, however, intrigue marketing is much more about that question, planting, what is this about, rather than necessarily the experience that they're going to be going through.
Well, when we think intrigue marketing, it's hard not to recall some of the standout campaigns like Dumb Ways to Die, the huge animated success story for Metro Trains, Melbourne, NAB's breakup campaign on Valentine's Day back in 2011. But you have a success story for a much smaller business called Drain Pro. They clean and repair drains. Tell us about their campaign.
Well, it's a fascinating one because quite often we're scared of trying these new ideas and we think something that's going against the grain of traditional style advertising pieces is reserved for the big juggernauts and the large budgets that these larger organisations have, but it's not the case. Now, Drain Pro, as you mentioned, they're a drain cleaning company, and how on earth would you create intrigue around that? So with these guys, we really wanted to make it stand out. In terms of how it's delivered, this was going to be consumed by people in a digital manner, whether it's YouTube or social media, Facebook, Instagram. So you've only got a very short amount of time to capture people's attention, usually about 5 seconds. Most ads you can skip after around about that period of time. This is not a TVC where they're forced to watch it for 30 seconds. So all of a sudden, there's a service repair person dancing, DJing, music blaring, and all of a sudden it just creates that sort of intrigue. What the heck is going on? It's got a jingle, it's very catchy, and then by the end of it all ties together into a little bit of a message. But 90% of it is not actually about the message. It's about creating something that's entertaining, something that is going to stick in the memory of the viewer. And that's what's made it so compelling to continue watching it. A really good measure of success in these situations is to look at, well, what's the engagement? And the beautiful thing with digital, particularly video, is you can actually look at what's called the view-through rate, and you can look at the completion of what percentage of people view it. Now, as you can imagine, if you're busy scrolling through your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed, you normally skip those things. And if you're watching a YouTube video, you quickly click the skip button to move on to the next one. So knowing if it goes past that point is success of one degree. But if it goes to completion, watching the entire ad, then that really does show the level of engagement. Now, this particular case study, 50% of all viewers watched it to completion, which is an incredibly high rate. And that just goes to show the level of intrigue that people had to watch it through to completion to understand.
That is a really high completion rate. I think it's really important, the idea of taking traditional brands that might be seen as boring or staid or not exciting and putting them in a space where people are jarred and get to think of them completely differently. At the same time, while views and singing the song are all great, ultimately the goal for any campaign is to change behaviour. The danger with Intrigue Marketing is that the campaigns are all sizzle and no sausage. What do you think about that?
It's a very good point, and it's a very difficult one. It's a fine balance. I mean, it's easy to, put up a cute, cuddly cat video and people are going to watch it. They're going to be intrigued, but does it really sell something? Does it say a message?
Don't knock cat videos,
Oh,
James.
don't worry. Don't worry. Highest viewed videos on the internet apart from a certain other category. But I think that it's a challenging one for marketers to really come up with. But as you probably note when you look at the Drain Pro campaign, there's finding that segue. It's finding that small connection. So it is 90% entertainment, but there is still that percentage that ties it back to some element of brand or a value proposition or a solution that the brand then provides. And that's the key.
So, James, from a small to medium business perspective, what are some tips to help them think outside the square and get customers thinking differently about the brands that they think they know?
First of all, you've got 5 seconds. Use it. If you've only got 5 seconds and you need to stand out, that means you need to be different. Don't be afraid of trying new things. Go against the grain. Do something big, loud and proud. Go wacky, have fun, and see what happens. And I think that's quite often the case with Intrigue Marketing is we're too afraid to try something different. And I would encourage everyone and all the listeners to next time get out there and be creative and try something. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work.
That was James Smith, CEO at Smith Brothers Media. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow at BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.